And recording. Duh. Okay, welcome to the February edition of the Community Hangout, the Open edX Community Hangout, that is. Glad you all could join us. I am coming to you live from San Francisco Airport Marriott, so hopefully my Wi-Fi will hold up, but I guess we'll find out. So we have a full slate. So we're going to kind of speed through the usual community announcements and then kind of go on to our show and tell session. So first off, the conference is this conference schedule is posted live. Please consult it. You're of course welcome to join. If you're a speaker, make sure your stuff is listed correctly. Otherwise, yeah. Also you can once you log in, you can edit your session, add speakers, do whatever you need to do. Just make sure you notify us so that if we need to update the conference program, we can do so in a timely fashion. That's going to go to print in a couple of weeks. So whatever changes you need to make, we need to make them quickly. We are proceeding with a record number of sponsorships and the total amount of sponsorships. So it's looking like a really good year. This follows on with the record number of talk submissions, talk proposals. So this is looking shaping up to be the best Open edX conference yet, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of you there. Ned, anything you want to add about the conference that people need to know about for now?
We're working on ideas for the my video. We're working on ideas for the fourth day, the Dev Summit. We have an empty wiki page right now. We're looking in particular for topics that could benefit from face-to-face discussion that will then continue collaboration beyond the day itself. So anything that's on your mind, put it on the wiki page and we'll sort through it and figure out how best to use that day together. We've got about 100 people signed up to be there on Friday. So it's an interesting crowd of people that we should make use of.
Fully agree. Okay. Any other comments before we roll on to the next section? Anything that anybody wants to bring up of note that anyone should know about? And I'm also looking at Namisha and Marco if you guys have anything you want to add or not. No? Okay, you'll have opportunities later to bring things up if you need to. So why don't we roll right into the show and tell portion? Regis, are you here? I think you are. I think I saw you.
Yes, I am.
Fantastic. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Go ahead and oops. I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay. So there you go. You should be able to see my browser with a DigitalOcean interface.
It's starting to come through. Hang on a second. Ah, there we go. Yes.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'd like to present Tutor. Thanks for offering me to present this here. And sorry for missing last month's meetup. I was supposed to present, couldn't make it in time. Sorry about it. So Tutor, it's a project that has kept me busy for a bit more than a year. It's a distribution of Open edX, which aims at making Open edX very easy to install, administer, manage, and upgrade. So some of you might know it under the name of Open edX Docker. I renamed it a couple of months ago, and it's now called Tutor. So maybe we can make this a bit interactive. It's a room with less than 20 people, so maybe some of you know Tutor already. Some of you have no idea what it is. Feel free maybe to interrupt and ask questions. So this is the main page for Tutor. It's the GitHub page. So this is where you get Tutor. You just basically download it from the releases page. So what does it do? Tutor helps. First of all, Tutor helps you install OpenX on the server, and it does that by packaging OpenX inside Docker containers. And it's kind of like the dev stack, except the dev stack was not meant for production, but only for development. So maybe I can try to show you a quick demo to see how it works. So this is, let me, so you should be seeing a console. Let me make this bigger. So this is a server, which is located at demo.overhang.io. And it's an almost empty server. There's just Docker and Docker Compose, and there's also, of course, Tutor, which I installed prior to running this. But it's all there is on the server. And all I did was create a user and point some DNS records to this server. So let's launch OpenEdX. So during the quick start, Tutor helps you configure the platform. So the domain name for the platform is going to be demo.overhang.io, and this is going to be the studio address, studio.demo.overhang.io, and then all this is pretty standard. I can activate SSL for HTTPS certificate generation. Let's not do this for now because it's a demo. I want to make it as bulletproof as possible. Then you have the possibility to activate nodes, XQ maybe, and there you go. So here what it does is that an environment was generated inside this folder. It's basically configuration files. And Tutor is going to use these configuration files to orchestrate an OpenEdX platform. So this might take a while. So meanwhile, maybe I can show you how it works on my local computer. Because here we need to, the whole procedure takes about 10 to 20 minutes. So we don't have time to do that. So let's switch to my local computer. So here we're not on the server anymore. We are on my own computer. So I can just do Tutor local. So is this going to work? Yes, this should work. No. Yes. This launches the components for OpenEdX with the CMS, the LMS, the forum, RabbitMQ, MySQL, of course, MongoDB, Memcache, well, all the components. So I should be able to open this. So it takes a while. So maybe if some of you have questions about what you've seen so far.
Yes, please.
No. Yeah?
Sure.
Thank you first. Does it support theme? Does it support a custom fork?
Does it support themes and what?
So let's say I have a custom fork of OpenEdX.
Oh, fork. Yes. Okay.
And a theme.
OpenEdX is all about customization. So Tutor, we want to help you support that. So I forgot to mention the documentation page for Tutor, and the documentation explains in more precise terms what I can tell you here about OpenEdX customizations. So yes, to answer your question, yes, it's possible. to run a fork of Helix platform and to run custom themes. And I tried to make it as easy as possible. So it's in the platform customization page. So basically what you want to do is to build new Docker images that package your own fork of Helix platform and your own themes. And it's supposed to be very easy. So so did that answer your question? I guess so.
There was also a question earlier, why the name change?
Yes. So it was named the OpenEdX Docker, and I had trouble naming it inside the documentation, for instance. So I was constantly writing, this project does that because OpenEdX Docker, it's not really a project name. It's not really a name. It's not really relatable.
Right.
Also, OpenEdX Docker was based entirely on the make files. And so a couple of weeks ago, I repackaged everything, basically rewrote the whole thing, and produced a single binary to launch the platform, to launch, manage Tutor. So I needed a name for that.
Right.
So it's working on my local computer. I'm not going to demo the whole OpenEdX thing, but basically you have access to the studio. There's no HTTPS access on the local host, of course, because it's not possible to generate SSL certificates for local host. So let's take a look at how we're doing on the server side. So this is the server, the demo server, which is currently running migrations, and it's taking a while.
Somebody's not happy about the wait.
Is that in the airport?
No, that the wailing was on somebody else's.
Okay, so maybe I can tell you a little bit more about the machine on which Tutor is currently running.
Yeah.
So it's a DigitalOcean machine, and it has 4 gigabytes of memory, and so it costs $20 per month. So it's a pretty lightweight machine, and it runs everything that is needed for a basic okay, what else can I tell you?
Richie, is that your audio or is that somebody else's?
There's no baby in my house.
Okay, could somebody else please mute?
I think
I think it's OpenEdX or Silvio.
it was Silvio. It's not.
Okay, got it. Right, thank you. Sorry.
Not me.
Not Ned.
So for now, there shouldn't be anything at this address. Yeah, there isn't anything at this address. But with Tutor, I included a web user interface. And this web user interface is available on port 3737. So with this, we can run Tutor commands directly from the browser. And so please don't access this URL right now because you could completely wreck the install. So please don't do that. Actually, I'm going to prevent you doing that right now. So there's a command which is called configure, and I'm going to set a user. And I'm going to set well, yeah, and yes. So now there's a password, and you cannot access it anymore because the password is very complex. Okay, how are we doing on the server side? Still running migrations. Maybe I should have done that earlier. So maybe I can tell you a little bit more about how Tutor works. Tutor works by generating configuration files from templates, as I told you. And these files are located inside local, share, Tutor. Then so this is the configuration file for my local install. So there are the secret keys, the email addresses, etc. And then there's the environment. And inside the apps, you can see all the files, all the configuration files, the JSON files, the settings files. So this, for instance, this is the production settings file for the LMS. So it's not that big because it is based mainly on the AWS file. Is it working? Still not.
Okay. I have some more questions.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What version of code is this based on?
Of Alex platform?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Hawthorne 2, and there's currently a branch of Tutor which works with Ironwood. So it's possible for you to try out Ironwood, Ironwood 1 RC1.
Right. How much work is it to pick up the new version of OpenEdX?
Surprisingly little. When you released the Ironwood branch and tag, it took me like 2 hours to upgrade, to create the Tutor branch. Of course, it's not fully tested, but I had very little to do. I knew there were some things that that I had to modify during the upgrade because so for instance I was manually patching Aura 2 and then I had to remove this patch. So it's pretty easy, and it's one of the advantages of using Tutor versus the configuration deployment scripts is that it becomes really easy to upgrade because, well, Tutor itself is easy to upgrade, and then locally all you have to do is upgrade the configuration files and the Docker images and restart.
Okay. And what's the future? What's the next thing to do to this?
Yeah. So the next thing. So I completed the rewrite, which was something I really wanted to do. Well, right now I want to create an AWS image that people can launch in one click and administer through the web UI. And they don't even have to connect to a shell on the server to launch the platform. So this is what I want to do right now. I also want to add insights, but this requires quite a bit of work. So I'm currently looking for sponsors for that, for the development work. So if you're interested in adding insights to Tutor, please get in touch. Also, there's currently a alpha working deployment version for Kubernetes, and it's working, but it's really buggy. It was not fully tested. I want to improve that.
Sorry, an alpha version for what?
The Kubernetes.
Oh, Kubernetes.
Yeah. And Tutor can also build an Android image, an Android package for the platform, but this needs more testing as well. So, and of course Ironwood, and well, I need to upgrade to Ironwood as soon as it's released.
Right. It looks like good. It makes me wonder why I'm putting any work into installation scripts on this side, but maybe that's a discussion JM and I will have in private.
I think it's really a different thing. Well, when I started work on Tutor on this, I didn't want to use the deployment scripts anymore.
Right.
But deployment scripts are really a completely different beast. They allow you to deploy OpenEDX on a cluster of servers, and then they support all the OpenEDX services. But they are extremely hard to understand. I mean, I've been working with these scripts for about 4 years, and it's still very hard for me to understand them. So my goal was to make this simple. And I think Docker containers are really, really powerful. And well, yeah, I think they're the future of deployment. Because once you build OpenEDX in a Docker container, then you can deploy OpenEDX everywhere. You can deploy on a single server, you can deploy in Kubernetes, but also on Docker Swarm. You can choose your deployment strategy. You're not like bound to Ansible.
Right.
Okay, so the platform is working. So I can now access demo.orange.io, and it should be working. It is slow.
Hey Regis, while it's loading, is 4 gigs enough to run OpenEDX and have it be performant? It seems like it's kind of starved for RAM.
That was my question.
Yes, I think 4 gigabytes is more than enough, and we're not going to need more in the future. No, jokes aside, yes, I used to think that 2 gigabytes are enough, and but in fact, when you have only 2 gigabytes, then the LMS and the CMS, they swap a lot, and it's not usable. But 4 gigabytes, yeah, I can try to run. So we have 2.6 gigabytes of RAM used out of 3.8 on the server right now. So I don't know how, I really don't know how many users this could support, but for a basic install, it should be enough.
Yeah. So is there a reason not to use this in production?
So
that it was meant for production, but
you keep asking the very good questions.
Thank you.
So reasons for not using this in production. This is not supported by edX.
True.
edX is not going to send patches. It's not going to help you on Slack if you have issues with that. But I'm really proud of the track record of the issues on the GitHub repo. So the repo has a bit less than 120 stars. Maybe you can help me get to 120. There are 135 issues that were closed, and there are only 11 issues open, and there's only one bug which is about the Android app. So and these issues were not opened by me. These issues were opened by many different people. And I tried to fix them as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So reasons for not using that, there's no, as I mentioned, e-commerce for right now. There's no discovery, and there's no insights.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think you should at least give it a try.
Well, that would explain why 4 gigabytes is adequate for this. I mean,
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I have very little experience running a discovery or e-commerce.
I gave you one more star. Reload the page.
Thanks, Ned.
Way to go, Ned.
Much appreciated.
Regis, why don't you use figures instead of insights?
Why don't I use what? Figures. Figures is not compatible with Hawthorne.
Well, I think we can make it.
Yeah, I think you guys should, you
Yeah.
know, get figures to work with later releases, and then we can integrate it with more things.
This is one of the interesting things with Tutor. Since it's not an official edX release, then I can package whatever I want in there. So if an add-on or an XBlock is interesting, then just package it easily. Easily, well, more or less easily. I can add a feature flag for it. But the truth is, I didn't even try figures because last time I checked, it was only compatible with Ginkgo.
I mean, we're focusing on making it multi-site before it's Howdern, and that's been almost done. So it's very close for us to get it worked on Howdern. One last question, Regis. What about MySQL or MongoDB persistence, logs, you know, like those nasty things when you lose them and you become sad? So, I mean, how do I get those in production, back them up, and so on?
So how to make backups of the databases? You mean?
Yeah, I mean, like I use Docker on mainly ephemeral things, never on production. So maybe you could.
Yeah. So maybe it's not clear for everyone what is Docker. I
mean, it is for me. I don't want you to explain the whole thing.
Yeah, but I have an answer for you, but I'd like everyone to get on board the So Docker containers are, you can see them as processes running inside very tiny virtual machines, and so they are completely isolated from the operating system. So the Docker containers that are currently running on the server, they do not affect the OS. Here we have the LMS, Nginx, the CMS worker, the CMS, which are running on the server, and there's no interaction with the server machine. And the containers, they are stateless, and it's very important to understand that they do not. You shut that down, you reboot, they are exactly the same as when you started them up for the first time. So, but you need some kind of persistence with the Docker containers, and this is where I answer your question. So, Docker containers, they persist their data inside volumes, and the container volumes are persisted inside local share tutor data, and this is where you find all the data for the various components, including MySQL, MongoDB, and Elasticsearch.
Hey, Reggie, we need to move on to the next. Is there anything else that you wanted to say before we move on?
I'm Regis B on Slack. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ping me.
Fantastic. All right, thank you so much. This is an amazing demo. Thank you so much for giving it. I really look forward to seeing what you do next. Okay. Thanks. All right, so who's up next? Let me see. Okay, next we have anonymous access with Jill. Is Jill here?
Actually, no. Jill's not here, but I'll be presenting in her place.
Okay, Paulo.
So hello, my name is Paulo. Nice to meet you, everyone. This is my first time on the Hangout. Let me try to share my screen. Thank you.
Excellent.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
So this is a work we developed for a client for OpenCraft. This is going to be included in the Ironwood release, and it's related to making course content public, which means accessible without user or enrollment. Let me find some. Oh, here it is. So here I have an incognito window that there's no user signing in. Let me refresh it. So I created 3 courses to demo this feature. First one is the demo course. It's kept on the original behavior. If you try to access the About page, it will just show you a button to enroll in the course so you can view the contents. But I also created another course and configured it to be public, which is this one. So when you access the About page for that course, you'll see the View Course button. Clicking on it will show you the outline. It will still show a message saying you must be enrolled to see some of the course content, but a few of the content should be available publicly. So if I try to access this unit, you can see the HTML X block, you can see the video X block, everything should work here. And all of that without us logging in with a user. At the moment, these are the only 2 X blocks that are supported. We made an effort with edX architecture for a process to give support for other X blocks. I'll show later. But as you can see, the course content is available publicly. There's another feature that we are asked to implement. That's to make only the course outline available publicly, not the course content. The idea here is to make a course available for search engines. So as you can see here, I can see the outline, but I cannot access the course. Besides making the course content public, either public or the course outline public, we devised a process to make some of the content private. So we could, for instance, make a trial of the course available for everyone to try. And in case they decide the content is good enough, they would register and enroll the course. We did this by leveraging content groups and cohorts. So as you can see here for the demo for the public course, we actually have another unit here. The way we achieve this is by creating a cohort and adding this content to that cohort. So this unit is only available for users that are enrolled on the course and participants of that cohort. Luckily, this can be done easily because you can create a default cohort and just make all users automatically enrolled on that cohort. So you basically will have a public cohort on your course where you have the public content, and a private cohort which will see the content marked as private by the content group. The same is available for the public outline as well. As you can see, I have another unit here which is not available publicly. So this gives some level of control of what should be made public and what should remain private in your courses. Now, how does this work? First, we have a waffle flag. It's overridden for specific courses, so you can control for your whole systems which courses should be made available, should have this feature available. Enabling this flag does not mean the course is public. It just means it's possible to make the course public. So in Studio, after enable that flag for a course, you can go to Advanced Settings. Search that's there. And you have this new configuration for when the flag is enabled, where you'll configure if the course should remain private, which is the default behavior, should have the outline public, or should have content marked as public. I think I saw the chat. Is there any questions?
Omar likes it.
Oh, okay.
This is definitely a long-awaited feature. That's absolutely true. And the big reason for it is so that search engines can crawl the courseware and get learners through search engines into your courses.
Exactly. We are thrilled that this being actually released along Ironwood.
Oh, yeah, there was a question about which release you're targeting for this. Are you targeting Ironwood or a subsequent release?
It is for Ironwood. Some of it is already there. There's some stuff that's right on the edge of being merged or has been, but we're giving it some time in production, I think.
Okay.
Dave can probably address the details there more specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess there's a single PR that is still open.
Yeah, I think there's a bug fix. I think there's a bug fix that we're still waiting on, or I'm not sure what the status of that is, but it's going to be in Ironwood regardless. Also, just want to say on behalf of the edX side, thank you so much to OpenCraft. This was a really long time in the making. OpenCraft has been really reached out to us very early on. There's multiple proposal PRs where we hashed out all kinds of things because, as you folks might imagine, anonymous courseware has to dig deep into the module store and some of the XBlock runtime stuff. So it's definitely it is definitely an undertaking. So thank you so much to OpenCraft for doing it.
Yeah, and thank you and the whole edX team for the support while making this come to reality.
Excellent.
Thank you. One question though. What about compatibility with the existing exablocks? I mean, is there anything specific that I should keep in mind when developing an exablock?
Yeah, that's the next point I was going into. To have an XBlock support public access, it needs to implement a public view. That's right here. This is an example for the HTML module. Since it does not care about the user, we're really just return the same view as for the enrolled students. So this is the bare minimum an XBlock has to support to be available public. If it does not provides this, it will just shown a message stating the user would have to enroll in the course to get access to that content. So we can show part of the content already in the courses, and as XBlocks gets upgraded and supporting this, more and more content will be available publicly.
Amazing.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Very beautiful. Thank you.
Great.
This is great. I know a lot of people are interested in this. So the granularity is Xbox.
You mean for displaying?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are two. There are two specifics here. The first one is the XBlock must support the public views. That's the bare minimum for showing that content on the course. But for defining which content would be made available, we are actually using content groups. So let me show here. This is the public course. So we have two units here. The first one is available publicly. The second one is just available for users with access to the enrolled content group. That's how we make our content private on a single course.
Okay, got it. Excellent.
Here we go.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add, or is that? I just want to. Any other questions, or should we move on to the next item on the agenda?
One other point I'll make about it is that we're also editing a blog post about this feature that's going to have details of the screenshots of the flow that Paolo just showed us, and almost serve as the documentation for this feature in Ironwood.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that should come out not this week anymore, maybe early next week.
Yeah, that would be nice. Okay.
Hi guys, Braden here. One quick point as well is that this doesn't just help search engines, but it's also really helpful for learners if you have a lot of courses. It's hard to choose among them. Like, I don't know if you've ever taken a course on edX.org, but it's very hard to get a sense of what's actually in this course from the introduction page sometimes. So.
Right, you have to sign up and then you keep getting emails from the course team, even though you just chose not to get into the course. I know.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, so we are getting short on time. We do need to move on. Thank you so much, Paolo. This is wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. And now, the next up, we have Mehdi and David Trong. Are you guys? Yeah, I think I saw you guys here. Excellent. Okay. And you guys are going to talk about Richie, which is an exciting thing that's been under development since Montreal.
Yeah.
So take it away, guys.
Okay, so I'm David. I'm from Montreal. I met Mehdi last year here in Montreal at the OpenEdX conference. And me and Mehdi had we had converging goals. We wanted to create a portal to allow people to discover our courses more easily. And while we were presenting lightning talks in the same room, and we talked about it a bit, and since we're both francophones, we clicked pretty well. And so at that point, on the Friday, during the Dev Summit, we decided to meet up the two teams together, Mehdi's team in France, and myself here in Montreal. So we talked about what we had, what we could do afterwards, and this is the result of those last few months of work. So let's start off. Let's see. So we have here. Sorry. So what we have here is our Richie. So Richie is the portal actually right now you need to fill the content manually. However, it allows you to create courses, categories, organizations, and course run among other things, and especially what Midi was working on, the search engine. So right now, the data is randomly generated for demo purposes, and so we can start off with a course here. So the course, oops, sorry, this is a course run. Okay, so starting off with the course, we have more or less, how do you put it, generic sections where you can fill in, and you can create peoples for your course team and reuse them afterwards. You have organizations, so those are some of the basics. We have the license for to inform people of how the course is shareable or not. And we have this, the categories. So the categories are the tags up here. So they can be subjects, they can be other things as well. And when you click on them, you have access to a page that shows you all the courses related to that subject or categories. Same thing for the organizations here. So you can choose one of them, and then you see all the courses related to that organization. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit slow. It's running on my local machine. Okay, so then we have the course run. So you have your sessions. They are dynamically updated on this page, but when you do create one, you get to choose your enrollment dates, your the start date, the end date of your courses. You can choose which language are available for your courses, and you can put in a link for whatever you want to redirect your users to. So it could be a link to directly subscribe them to your course, or it could be to redirect them to your About page. And so basically this is, our portal is right now platform agnostic. You can use whatever platform you want afterwards. So there's that. And then let's get back to the search engine. It's a big chunk of the work. Samuel in France that works at Midi has recently completed the indexing that takes the course from the platform and puts them into a search engine. Midi has been working with real data from the from FUN, which is France Université Numérique. And so, this is what I want to show you. Midi, you want to talk about the search engine?
Yeah, hello everyone. So the search engine is based on Elasticsearch, and the purpose of this search engine is to enable, of course, easily discovery of any course that's available on the linked platform. So what you can do is filter using the filters on the left sidebar. And one of the things that we wanted to do was to be able to combine several values in the same filtering type, like select courses from so and so category, or that and this organization, and stuff like that. So the purpose is to try and be like this. So the purpose of this is to try and enable easier discovery of courses. And if you take a look at the top, David, maybe there's a search bar with auto suggest of available categories and organizations and courses that should help people to get where they want quicker. So maybe you can show, like, when you select a category up there, for example, science, and you can, if you look for science in
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
But maybe no, yeah. You already picked science, so no, there's no point. But yeah, if you take in the autocorrect, now you can add a category from up there, and okay. So yeah, I guess one thing we did recently also is to allow you to build a taxonomy of categories through Django CMS. So one thing that David has not shown for now is all this work is based on Django CMS. So what you can do, the edits all the content he has shown you, like the course pages, the category pages, and everything. You can edit them with front-end editing. Like you have drop-down menus to select categories and everything, and you can also create like a taxonomy of categories. And when you do this, you can have like I don't know, something like mathematics, and inside mathematics you have algebra and geometry as separate like child categories. So when someone looks for one of these subcategories, they only find it, and when they look for mathematics, they find like everything related to it. So anyway, the search page was a big part of the work we did. But I mean, it's the purpose is mostly to build a portal that you can expose on the web to like enable easier discoverability and improve the SEO around courses. So that's the front-end editing I was talking about. You can you have like front-end widgets to edit everything in your course. Right now, I don't think we can enroll students from inside the CMS, but that's the enroll links that David was showing earlier. I don't think they do anything for now, but it's possible to just make it a link that will automatically enroll someone in the underlying OpenEdX instance, for instance.
Yeah, like I said, you can put any kind of link you'd like there in here right now. So yeah, underline. Okay, so what we have, the portal, what we can show the students, and then the search engine. So yeah, like Mehdi says, this use Django CMS as the basics, and a bit well okay, and how do we deploy it right now? We use Docker as well, a bit like how Regis does. Difference being that well, it is Docker, and we have a few different configuration. On my end here at Edulib, we are thinking of using it on AWS, deploying a Docker on either using ECS further down the road, or right now on an EC2 machine. Regis had the question earlier about how data was dealt with, how to persist the data. On our end, we're using RDS, and we'll be using S3 for the data and the static files, for the database and the static files. So, and then on Mehdi's end, I believe what are you guys using exactly? Mehdi?
Yeah,
hello?
sorry, I was muted. Yeah, we're deploying everything on OpenShift. That's like a wrap Kubernetes with some goodies around it, mostly.
Excellent. Okay.
So just a word about the status of this project. Right now, it's in beta, so that means it's mostly the way we want it. There's still things that are missing, like yeah, David started on the homepage that doesn't exist yet because we haven't implemented it yet. So there are still missing things, and we intend to like fine tune everything and finish everything that's not finished. And what beta means is mostly that we reserve the right to break the database as long as we're in beta releases. And in the next few months we'll release officially, and then we will not break anything. We'll do proper migrations and everything after that. So that's
So I'm sorry,
the
when
project.
do you plan to have like the quote unquote official release? Like when are you going to declare it ready for?
Hopefully around Open edX Con 2019, like in March.
Excellent.
March.
Okay. I love it.
We do have a presentation during that week, so hopefully you'll have good news to announce.
Fantastic. Okay, so we have run out of time, unfortunately, but this is great. This is exactly the kind of community hangouts I want to have, where people, a lot of people are talking and presenting things. Before we go, I want to leave you with one thing. Tell your friends, coworkers, colleagues, significant others, tell them about the conference. Go on social media. Let's really amp this thing up and make this the largest conference ever. We have a lot of great speakers, a lot of great content. I think a lot of people would benefit by being there. So let's all do our part and get out the word. And I will leave it at that. And then we will have one more hangout before then in March. So looking forward to seeing everyone's proposals for that one on the agenda. Thank you so much for stopping by. We'll record it, put it on YouTube as usual, and we'll see you at the next one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.